Sometimes the picture you see on social media tells you absolutely nothing about the reality behind closed doors. That International Women's Day photo from 2024, the one with LeBron smiling alongside Jeannie Buss and Linda Rambis, it went viral for all the wholesome reasons. Lakers Nation loved it. The league loved it. Everyone thought it was a perfect moment of harmony within our organization. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night as a Lakers fan who's been following this team for decades. That photo might have been covering up one of the most explosive internal conflicts in modern Lakers history. Welcome to Lakers News Fan Report, your trusted source for the latest updates, insider perspectives, and deep analysis on our beloved purple and gold. Today I'm bringing you something that changes everything you thought you knew about LeBron's relationship with Lakers management, and trust me, you need to hear every single word of this. Let me take you back to 2018. The moment LeBron James signed with the Lakers, the basketball world shifted on its axis. We were ecstatic. After years of struggling post-Kobe, we finally had a legitimate superstar willing to wear the purple and gold. The narrative was clear. LeBron chose Los Angeles to restore the Lakers to glory, to bring back championship banners to the rafters of Crypto.com Arena, to cement his legacy in the most storied franchise in basketball. Media outlets everywhere ran stories about LeBron as the savior of the Lakers, the king who would rescue the kingdom from its darkest period. Fans bought into it completely. I bought into it completely. But according to recent revelations, not everyone in the organization saw it quite that way. Jeannie Buss has been running the Lakers since taking over control from her father, the legendary Dr. Jerry Buss. She's made countless decisions, some brilliant, some controversial, but always with the weight of Lakers' legacy on her shoulders. When you're in charge of an organization like this, you have advisors, confidants, executives, coaches, agents, all whispering in your ear constantly. You have to maintain focus, you have to maintain control, and most importantly, you have to maintain the power structure that's kept the Lakers as one of the NBA's premier franchises for generations. Now imagine signing the biggest name in basketball, a player who doesn't just bring incredible talent, but also brings an entire ecosystem of influence, media attention, and organizational power. That's what happened in 2018, and apparently it created friction that nobody outside the organization truly understood until now. The credit that LeBron received for choosing the Lakers, for being portrayed as this savior figure, reportedly didn't sit well with Buss. This is a franchise that won 5 championships in the 2000s, that has 16 championship banners total, that has a history with Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. The Lakers didn't need saving in the traditional sense. They needed smart roster construction and strong leadership to return to championship contention. The narrative that LeBron was rescuing the franchise apparently felt like it diminished everything the organization represented, everything the Buss family had built. I can understand that perspective even as a LeBron fan, because the Lakers are bigger than any single player always have been. But the real tension started building around the Russell Westbrook trade in 2021. Everyone remembers that move. We traded away depth, young talent, and future assets to bring in Westbrook, forming what was supposed to be a super team with LeBron and Anthony Davis. The expectation was championship or bust. The reality was a disaster. Westbrook's fit with LeBron and AD never worked. The chemistry was off, the spacing was terrible, and we didn't even make the playoffs that season. It was one of the most disappointing years in recent Lakers history, and trust me, I watched every painful minute of it hoping things would somehow click. Here's where it gets really interesting. According to sources within the organization, what bothered Buss most wasn't just that the Westbrook trade failed spectacularly, it was that LeBron didn't take accountability for pushing for that move. When things went wrong, when the criticism started pouring in, LeBron would shift focus to other issues, to other players, to coaching decisions, but never directly acknowledge his role in advocating for a trade that clearly didn't work. For someone like Buss, who values accountability and organizational structure, this was a major problem. She felt like LeBron had significant influence in making the decision, but wasn't willing to share the responsibility for its failure. The tensions went deeper than just one bad trade, though. Buss reportedly felt that LeBron's influence within the organization had grown too large, that his voice carried too much weight in decisions that should ultimately rest with management. Think about it from her perspective. She's the owner, she's responsible for the franchise's long-term success, but she has a player who commands massive media attention, who has deep relationships throughout the league, who can shape narratives with a single social media post. That's an enormous amount of power, and when that power isn't balanced with what she perceived as proper accountability and gratitude, it creates organizational tension. And here's where this story takes its most shocking turn. In 2022, right in the aftermath of that disastrous Westbrook season, multiple sources now confirm that Buss privately considered some pretty drastic options. She questioned whether to offer LeBron a contract extension at all. She contemplated whether keeping him was the right move for the franchise's future. And then, incredibly, she even explored the possibility of trading LeBron James. Not to some random team across the country, but to the Lakers' biggest rival, the team that shares our building, the LA Clippers. Let that sink in for a moment. The Lakers' owner seriously considered trading LeBron James to the Clippers. We're talking about moving one of the greatest players in NBA history to the team down the hall, the franchise that Lakers fans have always viewed as the little brother trying to establish their own identity in our city. This wasn't just any trade speculation. This was about potentially sending LeBron to our direct competition, the team fighting for the same fans, the same media attention, the same championship aspirations in the same market. The implications would have been absolutely seismic. Now, this consideration happened before LeBron received his no-trade clause in July 2024, when he signed his current two-year, $104 million contract. That no-trade clause essentially ensures that any future moves would require his approval, giving him control over his destination. But back in 2022, that protection didn't exist. Theoretically, the Lakers could have moved him if they really wanted to, and the fact that the Clippers were mentioned as a possibility shows just how seriously these internal tensions were affecting decision-making at the highest level. Think about the context of that moment in 2022. The Clippers had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They had a strong supporting cast. They were building something legitimate. Adding LeBron James to that roster would have instantly made them championship favorites and would have completely shifted the power dynamic in Los Angeles basketball. For the Lakers to even consider facilitating that, for Buss to privately discuss that option, tells you everything about how fractured the relationship had become behind the scenes. There's another dimension to this tension that's equally important. Buss reportedly felt that LeBron wasn't grateful enough for the Lakers drafting his son Bronny in 2024. That draft pick was historic, marking the first time a father and son played together in the NBA. It was a beautiful moment, a legacy moment, something that could only happen with the Lakers' cooperation and willingness to use a draft pick on Bronny regardless of where other teams might have valued him. From Buss's perspective, the Lakers did something incredibly special for LeBron and his family, creating a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. She apparently expected more appreciation, more acknowledgement of the organization going out of its way to make that happen. Now let's step back and analyze this situation objectively. On one hand, I completely understand Buss's position. The Lakers are an institution, and maintaining organizational structure and accountability is crucial for long-term success. When you have a player with LeBron's stature, that player's influence can potentially override management decisions, create uncomfortable power dynamics, and make it difficult to build a cohesive organizational culture. The Westbrook trade is a perfect example of how player input, even from the best players in the world, doesn't always lead to the right basketball decisions. Buss has every right to expect accountability from everyone in the organization, regardless of their status or accomplishments. On the other hand, LeBron brought the Lakers their 17th championship in 2020. He delivered on his promise. He brought a title to Los Angeles during one of the most challenging seasons in NBA history, the bubble year during the pandemic. That championship matters, and it matters a lot. LeBron's production on the court has remained elite even as he's aged. He's still putting up numbers that most players in their prime would envy. His basketball IQ, his leadership, his ability to elevate teammates, all of that has value beyond just statistics. The decision to draft Bronny created incredible media attention and storylines that benefited the Lakers' brand globally. The question is whether these internal tensions have been resolved or whether they're still simmering beneath the surface. That 2024 International Women's Day photo suggests things have improved, at least publicly. LeBron is still with the team, he signed that extension with the no-trade clause, and outwardly everything seems stable. But organizational relationships are complex, and past conflicts don't just disappear overnight. The fact that these considerations about trading him to the Clippers happened at all tells us that the relationship between LeBron and Lakers management has had serious rocky moments. From a basketball perspective, let me address the elephant in the room. Could LeBron actually end up with the Clippers at some point? Realistically, with his current no-trade clause, it would only happen if he wanted it to happen. The Clippers are in an interesting position themselves. They've moved into their new Intuit Dome, they're trying to establish themselves as a legitimate championship contender, and adding LeBron would certainly accelerate that process. But would LeBron want to switch LA teams? Would he want to potentially damage his Lakers' legacy by joining the rival? These are complicated questions without easy answers. Personally, and I'm speaking now as a passionate Lakers fan who's been riding with this team through every high and low, I hope these tensions are truly behind us. I want to see LeBron finish his career in purple and gold. I want to see him and Bronny continue making history together in a Lakers uniform. I want whatever remaining years LeBron has in the NBA to add to his Lakers legacy, not complicate it with a move across the hallway. The 2020 championship will always matter to me, will always be part of Lakers history, and I'd rather build on that foundation than tear it down over organizational disagreements. But I'm also realistic about the business of basketball. If these tensions persist, if LeBron and the organization can't find common ground on roles, influence, and accountability, then difficult decisions might need to be made. The Lakers have to think long-term. We have young talent in Austin Reeves, we have assets to potentially make moves, we have a brand that will attract stars regardless of whether LeBron is here. Sometimes organizations and players need to part ways even when both sides have legitimate perspectives. It's not always about right and wrong, sometimes it's just about incompatible visions for the future. The revelation about considering a trade to the Clippers specifically makes this even more intriguing. That's not just any trade scenario, that's a statement trade. That's a move that would have dominated headlines for months, that would have shifted the entire landscape of LA basketball and potentially the entire Western Conference. The fact that it was even discussed internally shows how serious these tensions became, how close we might have come to a completely different reality. I want to hear from you, Lakers Nation. How do you feel about these revelations? Does it change your perspective on LeBron's time with the Lakers? Do you think Buss was right to feel frustrated about accountability and organizational structure? Or do you think LeBron's on-court contributions should outweigh any off-court tensions? And here's the big one. If you were in charge, would you have considered trading LeBron to the Clippers back in 2022, or would you have worked through the issues no matter what? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I genuinely want to understand how Lakers fans are processing this information. As we move forward, watching how this relationship evolves will be crucial for the franchise's future. LeBron isn't getting younger, and decisions about roster construction, coaching, and organizational direction will define whether we can compete for another championship before his career ends. The no-trade clause gives him security, but it doesn't resolve underlying philosophical differences about how a basketball organization should function. Communication, mutual respect, and aligned goals will determine whether the Lakers and LeBron can finish this partnership on a high note or whether we're headed for more turbulence. Before I let you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell so you never miss an update from Lakers News Fan Report. I'm bringing you the latest news, the deepest analysis, and the insider perspectives you won't find anywhere else. Give this video a thumbs up if you found this information valuable, and share it with every Lakers fan you know because this is a story that everyone needs to understand. The purple and gold runs deep in all of us, and staying informed about our team's reality, not just the surface-level narratives, is what separates true fans from casual observers. I'll be back with more Lakers coverage very soon, so stay locked in, stay passionate, and as always, let's go Lakers.